Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. You might recognise a little bit of a change, a little bit of a shift, and yes, I have done. Just for this video at least, I'm just trying a few things out. I have got a new camera. There is another one that I do normally use right next to me, but I'm using this, and this is what I'm going to be using for the watch-alongs. There's going to be no more cutting off, there's going to be no more black screens, there's going to be no more technical issues. That's all in the past now, thanks to this little beauty I have in front of me. So I hope all of you are going to experience everything absolutely flawlessly. If that makes sense, is flawlessly a word? I think it is. Anyway, let's get into today's preview. Before I do though, I want to ask you guys, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you do enjoy this video. Let's get into today's nitty gritty. So it's the preview, Leeds United versus Chelsea Football Club, and oh my goodness, this is the fixture that I think many Chelsea fans were waiting for and hoping that fans would be allowed back into the stadiums, because oh my god, away at Leeds. That is what many Chelsea fans have been waiting for since forever. You know, Leeds used to be in the Premier League when they were playing Champions League football and reaching the semi-final, and they had, you know, Mark Viduka, Harry Kewell, Alan Smith. If you know, you remember. Leeds United had a quality team, and they were competing at the highest level. And then a bit of turmoil hit them, they got relegated, and since then I think Chelsea have been waiting for them to come back, because that was one hell of a rivalry. And imagine if you had Elland Road packed with passionate Leeds supporters, as passionate as I personally know they can be. They are honestly creme de la creme when it comes to real hardcore passion about their club. They honestly live, breathe and die Leeds United. Imagine a ground full of Leeds fans, then you got the away Chelsea fans that have travelled all the way from London to Elland Road. That old school hostile rivalry. Oh, it would be amazing. It would be amazing. But unfortunately, no fans allowed in the ground just yet. So it would have been amazing. But we're going to see the two teams face off against each other at Elland Road. Leeds United versus Chelsea. Now, in terms of Leeds United, they've been all over the place. They've been very up and down. They've been very hot and cold, very on and off, very yo-yo, 50-50. You don't know what you're getting with them. You're either going to get a Leeds United that are going to bang in loads of goals, or you're going to get a Leeds United that are going to get absolutely trounced. I mean, let's take a look at their past few results, yeah? Here it is. Here are their past 9 games. They beat Newcastle United away. They beat Leicester City away 3-1. Then they lose at home to Everton 2-1. Then they beat Crystal Palace 2-0. Then they lose against Arsenal 4-2. Then they lose to Wolves 1-0, who have been struggling. But then they beat Southampton 3-0, a team that have been doing alright. And then they lose 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. And then they go away to West Ham and lose 2-0. Very up and down, hot and cold. You don't know what we're getting with them, honestly. And this is why I'm quite confident. I'm quite confident when looking at this game, looking at this fixture. I think we're going to see a game here that is very resemblant to the Liverpool game in terms of style and in terms of approach, because Leeds United are not a team that are going to sit back. The way that Leeds play, it's a very unconventional, unique way of passing possession-based football. Marcelo Bielsa, the way that he has his vision, but his style and the way that they're playing, it's full of combinations, it's full of triangles and triangles, it's full of little tight spaces and getting in between lines, and it's all very, you know, complex when you're looking at the way that they play, and I can see where they're trying to go with it. But this isn't something that's going to just click tomorrow. This is something that's going to have to take work into next season, maybe even the season after. And when you look at Leeds United, they're doing well. They're 11th in the Premier League. It's, you know, it's where many of us, you know, expected them to be, because we knew the style of football that they were trying to play in the Championship and what got them promoted, and they were doing very well. And now they're in the Premier League. Everyone knew they were not going to go back down. They just won't. But mid-table was a respectable position for the strength that we know that they have. Now, Leeds United, very offensive team. A team that likes to just take it to opponents, regardless of the consequences. But that's the problem. At the back, they are so open, it's ridiculous. It's honestly unbelievable. As lethal as they can be up top, even though as of late, they haven't been clinical. They've had a similar situation to us, in all fairness, when it comes to really being clinical. But the one difference maker between Leeds and us is we defend like concrete now. Unlike, earlier on in the season where we looked like Leeds United at the back. Whereas now we can defend against literally anybody. Leeds United, though, as open as a department store on Black Friday at 6 o'clock in the morning when there's thousands of people waiting to get in. It's honestly as open as that. They are so exposed at the back that Chelsea will have chances tomorrow, will be able to go and get goals as far as I'm concerned. And as long as we just focus on actually putting the ball in the net, we should be able to. Now, on the flip side, with Leeds and the way that they like to attack, they are going to have a couple of chances. But as solid as we have been, and as, brilliant we've been at the back, I just don't see Leeds scoring, which is a very, very good thing to say, I have to say. Now, in terms of team news, we have two players that will not be featuring. That is Thiago Silva and that is Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham, with his ankle issue that kept being a persistent problem in training, as Thomas Tuchel reported in the press conference earlier today. And Thiago Silva suffered a little setback, which means that as he was scheduled to come back for this game and then look to be in contention for the Atletico game, he's going to be out of tomorrow's game. And personally, I just don't think he'll be even risked to be playing on Wednesday against Atletico Madrid. So I think we're going to have to rely on the one man at the back who has been an absolute maestro. I'm going to say his name once we get into the starting 11. So let's get into it. Which starting 11 do I think Thomas Tuchel should go with? Here it is. So, a back three, as usual. I'm suspecting a possible shift of formation, although maybe not necessarily a shift of formation. Just a different type of characteristic up front. I will mention it when I get to it. But anyway, with a back three, Edouard Mendy in goal. Edouard Mendy right now is having the time of his life. He hasn't got to worry about a thing. He's got a defence in front of him that's dealing with every single issue that arises. He's in between his goalposts with, he's got a picnic next to him. He's got, water. I was going to say maybe something stronger, but he's a footballer. During a game, he's not going to be drinking. So H2O, as always, he's going to have that next to him. And, maybe he might put on Netflix. He might, get his phone out and, keep himself entertained. He might do all of that, because is he getting tested? No. And the amount of clean sheets he's got recently is just unbelievable. So Edouard Mendy in goal without question. Hopefully another easy day at the office tomorrow. Now, if we go into the back three, this has to remain unchanged. Unchanged as far as I'm concerned. It has to be Azpilicueta, who has been a rock in that role, a role that absolutely suits him in terms of where he is in his career, a role that doesn't require you to bomb forward as much. That's really, really beneficial to him as someone who's already hit 30 years old. So, keeping that into consideration, it just suits him. He gets to use all his defensive attributes and have the support of two other centre-backs. Azpilicueta as the club captain as well, leading by example, absolutely beautiful. On the left-hand side of our back three, Antonio Rudiger. He's been a rock since Tuchel has come in. He's been an absolute beast. He's been a tank. He's not letting anyone through. He's been absolutely organised with the other two centre-backs. He's been very, very dominant in the air in terms of his presence. He's been brave enough to drive with the ball when he has to. He's been someone that has, been able to send a long ball and shift the ball diagonally. A nice ball-playing centre-back that Thomas Tuchel likes to see. And, Antonio Rudiger hasn't set a foot wrong, so long may that continue. If we shift to the middle of the back three, it's the main man as far as I'm concerned so far. The one who's been most impressive, Andreas Christensen, without question. Thiago Silva's out and he's had a setback, which means that Christensen's going to get at least another bit of extended time. So Christensen right now, flawless, absolutely flawless, has not set a foot wrong whatsoever. And long may that continue too. Absolutely brilliant in terms of playing the ball out from the back, has been so dominant and not letting anyone through, much like his counterparts in Azpilicueta and Antonio Rudiger. And just all together, they look like an absolute brick wall. Honestly, no one's getting through. And I love it. I love it. So that is the back three. If we move into the double pivot just in front of them, I've seen a couple of suggestions, but I would go with the same pairing that worked against Liverpool. Against Liverpool, you got to realise, Liverpool were a team that we knew were not going to sit back. Liverpool were a team that were going to try and take the game to us. A team that we knew were going to play with a high line. So we needed good defensive stability and we needed a midfielder that can send the ball over the top. Jorginho and Kante seems to fit the bill. And against Liverpool, they did it brilliantly. Against Leeds United, I think Leeds are going to be possessing many of the same characteristics that we saw Liverpool possess against us. They are going to be playing with a bit of a high line. They are going to try and take the game to us. Defensively, they're a little bit all over the place. I think they're going to leave space for our front men to run in behind. So that is why with Kante and with Jorginho, who is suspended for the Atletico game, we got to remember that. So as far as I'm concerned, that would be a perfect time to use him tomorrow against Leeds. You know, as he can rest. He's not playing against Atletico. And then we look forward to next weekend. Kante and Jorginho, for me, perfect balance that we need against an attacking team in Leeds United who have flaws defensively that we can take advantage of. Kante can win the ball back. Jorginho can send the ball. Kante can also send the ball. And against Liverpool, Jorginho could win a ball back. So if they can just play as well as they did against Liverpool, I've got no worries whatsoever in Jorginho and Kante. So for me, that would be the double pivot. If we shift over to the right wing back position, for me, I would go with Callum Hudson-Odoi on this one. As I've said, Leeds United are a team that are going to try and take it to us. Now, defensively, yes, Reece James, I know I can rely on. But with Hudson-Odoi, I think defensively, every time he's been put as a right wing back, he's served his purpose. He's been tracking back. He's been getting back and contributing defensively. He's been getting those tackles in. He's been able to win the ball back. He's done all of those things. So I've got no worry. But the additional advantage that you get from having Hudson-Odoi on the pitch is you enable yourselves to have another attacking threat. And against Leeds, I think we're going to have many chances to exploit their weaknesses at the back, and if we have an additional threat in Hudson-Odoi, we can catch them out on an overload, and that is going to help us a lot. So for me, he starts right wing back. Left wing back, I would go with Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell, who has been looking good at left wing back, looking good, and I'm very happy. He's been adding the few aspects that I see in Marco Alonso's game that I wanted to see in Chilwell's game. Offensively, him getting into the box, him cutting inside, him trying to exploit those spaces in order to add himself as an attacking threat. And alongside that, bombing the left-hand channel as we know he can always do. Ben Chilwell, if he is going to play as well as that, he deserves to start. Because we know he is faster than Alonso and we know defensively he's more reliable. So if Leeds United are going to try and take the game to us, I feel like Chilwell is someone we can rely on a little bit more, especially defensively. And as I've said, if he's contributing as well as he is offensively, like I didn't think he would, then brilliant. Perfect player to have at left wing back. Now here it gets tasty. In terms of our attacking midfield and forward situation, what's going on here? Because I told you yesterday, I think Pulisic's going to start this one. But how and where? Because let's face it, Mason Mount needs to start. That is an absolute must. He has to start. He's suspended against Atletico Madrid. So for me, he plays 90 minutes tomorrow. Now, 90 minutes if we have to. We can take him off if we have to at some point in order to accommodate an additional man. Out of 4 choices, I think one's going to miss out here. The 3 players that I need to select, I've got 4 options as far as I'm concerned. Mount, Pulisic, Havertz and Timo Werner. Timo Werner, I feel, will suit this game, especially as a striker who likes to run in behind defenders that play with a high line. Leeds that I think are going to do that. So it suits Werner absolutely to the T. But we've seen what he missed in our last game, and that's just sitting at the back of my head, and I don't want it to, but it just is, when I feel like it's a good chance for Pulisic to get a game as well. Alongside that, Kai Havertz had a brilliant game against Everton, and we saw what he did. That he has to start. He has to start, surely. So Pulisic is the other option. And you look, well, as far as I'm concerned, he deserves the opportunity against Leeds, against a team that we know are going to leave spaces in behind in their defence for our attackers to exploit. And Pulisic is kind of the man you want in that situation, especially as a very good dribbler and someone with the speed and the awareness to take advantage. It's a tough one. For me, Mason Mount has to start. Especially as he's suspended against Atletico, it'd be the perfect game for him to play. However, how would I play this? Would I go with 2 and another one alongside Mason Mount and 1 man up top? Or should I go with 1 Mason Mount and 2 up top? But then that means what? Pulisic's going to be playing as a striker? I'm not so sure. Or do we just go with Havertz as the lone false nine? This is the dilemma that I have in my head. Personally, I would like to see Mason Mount, Pulisic alongside him, with Kai Havertz as the false nine. Later on, what we can do is bring on Timo Werner if the game is in our advantage and we're winning and we can see spaces in behind that we know Timo can take advantage of. We can take Mason Mount off if we can afford to and allow Pulisic to occupy that attacking midfield option. Or we can bring off Pulisic at some point if he's not up to it or if he's not playing as he should. Bring on Werner alongside Kai Havertz. And vice versa. If Havertz is looking like he's off, we can bring on Timo Werner and have Pulisic next to him whilst Mason Mount is occupying the number 10 position. Likewise, we can have Pulisic and Mount next to each other with Timo Werner up top. Many options here. But I feel like Pulisic needs to be given the opportunity. Like we saw Ziyech have his opportunity. We saw Havertz have his opportunity. For me, Havertz plays tomorrow. So I would give Pulisic that opportunity. But it's difficult when you've got a Mount as well that you know is the perfect man for this fixture where Leeds are going to be reliant on the energy and how much they run, as well as the amount of bodies that they like to try and put forward combined with the intensity that they like to play to their game. So it's something that we know we have to take seriously in terms of trying to outrun them, outplay them, and Mason Mount will be crucial to that. So it's a little bit of a dilemma, but personally, I wouldn't mind Timo being rested a little bit for this one. We can bring him on later in the second half. I'd have Havertz as the false nine, especially as someone that was very clinical against Everton. I'd have Pulisic alongside Mason Mount, and that would be my starting 11. In terms of a score prediction, I am going to go with something a little bit comfortable. Nothing too comfortable, not a demolition. We're not going to destroy Leeds. I hope we do, but I don't think we will. But I think something comfortable. I'm going to go Leeds United 0, Chelsea 2. With Kai Havertz on the score sheet and maybe Pulisic or Mason Mount. Why not? But I want to see if Pulisic is playing tomorrow. I want to see him shoot. I want to see him try and create. I want to see him try and dribble. I want to see him at the top of his game. The Pulisic that we know. Alongside that Mason Mount, I want him to take chances. I want him to take some digs at the keeper and hopefully combine with Kai Havertz in order to hopefully get him on the score sheet. Why not? That would be lovely jubbly. Hopefully we have a good attacking threat tomorrow. Men that can exploit the weaknesses that are in Leeds' backline. And hopefully another win. And then we march on to Atletico Madrid. Welcome them to the bridge. And let's get this last 16 tie out of the way. It's looking good for us so far. Our run of form has been absolutely exemplary. Long may that continue. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. How should we approach this game? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know. I would love to hear it. What would be your starting 11? Do you agree with mine? Any changes that you would make? Let me know. It's a tough one. Because anything that Tuchel decides to go with at the moment, it works. So, you know, whatever he goes with. Brilliant. Let me know your score predictions as well. How do you think it's all going to end? I'd love to hear it. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you did enjoy this video. Be sure to be here for the watch along tomorrow. It's an early kickoff. Saturday lunchtime for the UK anyway. 12:30 p.m. It's not a good time slot. 12:30 on a Saturday lunchtime is the time slot where big teams suffer shock results. And I hope tomorrow that isn't going to happen. I hope we have a normal day at the office. We go to Elland Road, comfortable win, come back to London. Thank you very much, Bob's your uncle. But we will see what goes down. Join me for the watch along tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. I will see all of you then. Immediately after that, I will give you my match review as well. So I'll see you on the watch along. Thank you all so much for watching. Look after yourself. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care and peace.